All right, May 31st, I think it is. It's Wednesday. It's 11:03 a.m. And before I start talking about whatever, I just got to talk about how I'm feeling because how I'm feeling is so crucial to my state of existence that to not talk about it would be stupid, crazy, weird. Because I'm getting so blasted, so my nervous system is being so overwhelmed right now that I just want to fucking jump out of my skin. So it's important to start with where you are, start with what your experience is in the moment before you just start talking about whatever the hell else is going on. And obviously, honesty about our state of being is something that's going to have to become absolutely normal for us to do. And if you've gone through enough bullshit like I am, it should be more and more natural for you to do this. You might just be exasperated by the fact that you have so few people to share what you're experiencing with. Now, in the last 2 weeks, I'm just throwing that number out there. I don't know exactly. I don't keep track of time so well. My nervous system is way too fucking overloaded. And I have to curse. I don't want to curse as much as I do sometimes, but I just kind of have to do it to cope. There's been a study where people, I think, were putting their hands in ice water and using curse words helped them manage the pain better than using words like cantaloupe or watermelon or whatever the other words were. So I'm just throwing that out there, and I've noticed that a lot of people that are in a similar state to me curse quite a bit too. So I'm like to curse when it has an actual impact on what I'm saying and not just cursing ridiculously for no absolute reason, because I'm certainly not fond of that. Thankfully, I can control it for the most part, so I don't curse against my will to do so. But I think it's just kind of a part of the path that we're on here. It's kind of those who have been driven to this level of nervous system devastation have to curse sometimes just to communicate. And that's how it is. That's that, and that's doesn't need any more said about it. So I had my massage this morning. My hair is a little bit more curly than usual because she was putting her lotiony hands in my hair. And there's been a good stream of communication thus far today, and yesterday night I hardly got any sleep. I slept maybe 3 hours. I don't know. I laid in bed till like 2 and I couldn't fall asleep, so I just got up and did some other stuff and maybe slept from like 5 to 7:30 or something. Obviously, trying to get any sort of routine established when you can't sleep at night is extremely difficult. But when your body is being electrocuted like fucking mad all the time, you see quite clearly that we're in a state of emergency here on Earth. The whole planet, the whole damn thing is in a state of emergency. And that the only thing that really needs to happen is for us to heal. So it makes absolutely no sense to me what people are doing, but I understand that they're being controlled and manipulated and that they're asleep, which is why they do what they do. But what I've come to realize more strongly, and I'm someone that will doubt what seems like a crazy thought a million times before I start to really think, yes, this really is going on. And maybe that's a healthy state of mind. Maybe I've been a little too much of a doubter at times. But it is very clear to me that there is some sort of isolation mechanism within the nightmare that has kept me almost completely alone on this journey. And thankfully I have my wife and son, so I have some company. It's not always great company, but at least I have some company a lot of the time because I don't like being alone for the most part. But the isolation mechanisms seem to be pretty universal amongst people that have been on this path. Now, if we look at the stuff that the NSA has done, and if you are familiar with the movie Snowden or the work that he did, should be enough. He said that he revealed about 2% of the information that the NSA, that he had about the NSA and their spying activities. So we really have to ask ourselves some just basic questions. This is all basic questions. It's like the questions you would ask like when you're 7 years old, but you stopped asking because you're a fucking moron, probably, if you stopped asking. You shouldn't stop asking good questions. You should never stop asking good questions. And you should question everything. Things that are taboo to question, you should question those too. You should question absolutely everything. Even to the point of destroying your own religious beliefs. Jesus would want you to do that. If he was here today, he would want you to question your own religion till it completely shattered. Because he understands what this is about. This is about a personal journey where you affirm your faith, you affirm your allegiance, rather, with heaven over and over and over and over and over, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of times. You state your allegiance, because you have to know that with every fiber of your being who you're serving here. Because if you're not completely certain of what you're serving, you will be controlled and manipulated. That's guaranteed. So you have to make it very, very clear to yourself what you're controlled by, if you are controlled by anything, and who you're serving more than anything. Because you can only really serve heaven or hell. You only have really two options. There's not a whole lot of gray area. You're serving one or the other. And there's, for the most part, people are kind of got their feet in both sides here. There's not a whole lot of people that are completely evil, but there are some, for sure. Now, so what I was saying about the NSA and their spying activities, when you really think about it, you have to ask, well, why would they be doing this? So allegedly, the answer, if you were to believe in the news, for example, would be that there's this terrorism that goes on, because we have an attack, like a major attack, like every, I don't know, couple of months or something, whatever it is in the area, in the world. And you got to keep in mind that there's 1 million people that die every single week, and most of those deaths are not pleasant at all. Most of those deaths are traumatic to a certain degree, and they're very upsetting for the people. I don't dismiss anybody's personal situation, but what we have to see, though, is we live in a state of constant atrocity. You got 150,000 plus people dying every single day. You have a couple thousand suicides a day. That dwarfs the number of people in a terrorist attack here or there, which is being used to lie and manipulate you into believing that it's a real problem. So you believe in the agenda of spying on people, but you don't understand what it's for. They need these terrorist attacks to justify what they're doing. So your pawn silly ass will allow them to continue doing it. And if you're one of those people that doesn't question what they do, then they're probably not going to mess with you too much, because you're a good little death-worshipping piece of crap. And that's what you are. You're a death-worshipping piece of crap. I mean, aging itself is a disease. I don't know if you understand this, but aging itself, getting old, is a disease. That means the body is not completely healthy. And that's because the body, for one thing, it's part of the environment that we're in, obviously, and everything in this world degrades, except for maybe a couple elements. Everything degrades. And you'll notice those couple elements that don't degrade are the ones that are hoarded. They've done all kinds of mining all over the damn world to hoard these elements and prevent people from getting them for the most part. So our body follows the same laws of physics as the entire world. Everything degrades here. Everything decomposes. It's just normal to you fucking idiots who believe this stuff is normal. It's not normal to age. God would have never intended for you to suffer any pain at all, let alone the pains of aging. Now, aging itself is not purely just a cosmetic concern, because you need to understand that form and function are intimately intertwined. And so getting older, becoming more wrinkly or frail, obviously you have form and function that are intertwined, and they mirror one another almost perfectly. So it's obviously not just a cosmetic thing for people to age. It's like, oh, I don't look as good as I want to anymore. That sucks. And I am not belittling that at all. You have the right to be very pissed off about the fact that your body is doing something you don't want it to. But that's what's going on in this vibration of reality, is that everything degrades, everything decomposes, and your body is no exception. So let me get back to what I was saying about the spying activity. The rationale for this that they've given is obviously bullshit, because every kind of rationalization they make is bullshit. That's what they do. They lie and deceive to get your approval so you go along with the agenda. The real effort behind all this spying is to gather information about people who are dangerous, but not dangerous to you, but are dangerous to them. If you look at what happened to Robin Williams, you got to understand that this man got up in front of thousands of people and did stand-up comedy. That is terrifying. So the story about his death is that he experienced some weird disease, I think they said it was, which caused him to go into this state of panic. I hope you're not buying this bullshit. I really hope that you understand that there are some elements at work here I was going to say at play, but it's certainly not play. There's some elements at work here that are controlling and manipulating people, and they're going after people that have the potential to transform society. I am absolutely no exception to this. And the ways that this works are so beyond my ability with my limited brain to understand that I can't even begin to wrap my brain around it. Now, thankfully, heaven is not asking that we understand this madness to any great degree at all. Heaven is, in fact, asking us to be like little children and to... Sorry, just lost it. Is asking for us to do what we're capable of given our limited condition. It's asking us to focus on what we want to create and asking us, for the most part, not to look into darkness too much. Because we're going to have our bouts of darkness, some of these sleepless nights where we get on YouTube and we just start listening to all kinds of shit. And you get kind of scared when you do that. But, yank yourself out, and it's like, I gotta get the hell out of here pretty soon, because I'm going to go bananas if I'm just not staying pretty active today. I got to get in water, most importantly, I got to get active to deal with what I'm dealing with right now. But the whole agenda of gathering information about you is to somehow control and manipulate you to make you a non-factor. What they ideally want to do with people that are really dangerous to them, not dangerous to the world, but dangerous to them, is to discredit them, is to make them seem insane. Do I seem insane to you, by the way? Do I seem like a depressed person to you? Do you not see that there's light in me? Do you not see that I'm naturally am an expansive, happy, joyful, great guy that you'd want to sit down and have a beer or coffee with? Coffee right now. Maybe you're having coffee. Do you see that about me? I'm very charitable in the way I see you. I'm very charitable with my praise when you do something good. I hope that you see that there's light in me too. And I hope that you've made your allegiance with heaven so strong that you recognize me as your brother on this path. Because I'm not going to do a damn thing to prove to you who I am. I know who I am. I cannot prove to you who I am. And I advise you to steer clear of anyone that has to prove to you who they are. Because I certainly am not going to do that. Because I know how deep the deception runs here. But I've had my life completely destroyed. I've had everything taken away from me. My son being diagnosed with PDD and autism and ADHD and all these things are just the most horrific news that you can get as a parent. I have not been given any special favor here at all, and I've been completely isolated. And I've been working my ass off to make music in this last year. I'm almost done with a song called My Destiny. And if you're watching this video, I want you to buy it. I want you to just buy it for $1 or $2 or whatever it ends up selling for, because I need some help here. And I need support in the form of praise and prayers and everything that you can manage to give me without causing a strain on yourself. I'm going to do another one of these very shortly here.